And sure, the rule book nearby just in case, even though we're not going to we're going to play it pretty close to the real rules.
Dice Tower Tonight, episode 65.
How to game while social distancing.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, the old gang is back together as Tom joins us to discuss ways to play games over long distances. Plus, we play a game over a long distance, specifically a new party game from Crystal. We talk about what we've been playing lately, and we answer questions from the audience live. I'm Eric Summerer, and joining me now, the containment specialist and dispatcher to my archivist, Crystal Pisano and Tom Vassell.
Very nice. And very apropos. And Tom is a little bit busy right now because he's currently playing Skyrim on his Nintendo Switch.
Right.
I'm in Skyrim. I'm hunting down the wreck of something.
The wreck of something.
Oh, you want me in? Hello, everybody.
So, Tom, you've been going live every night this week. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to try to be live every night until this whole quarantine thing is over.
Oh, boy.
Or at least till it's over for me. Well, no, I mean, we got a lot of extra time to do this thing, too. And I think that this is the time for us to come together and talk and just keep each other's spirits up. Because, well, at least for us extroverts, because us extroverts don't like being cooped up in the house, I think.
That is very true. I've also been streaming almost every day since last Friday, so...
Yeah, I'm feeling a little cooped up. We have been taking walks every day around the neighborhood, just going for a nice walk, getting some sunshine. The children aren't huge fans of the process, but Steph and I are having fun getting some walking exercise. And, of course, yesterday we played a game that my son invented, all over the floor of the house, which...
I saw pictures of that, and I was very curious what exactly that was.
So he just scattered things all over and basically turned the tiles in the kitchen and different objects on the floor into spaces in one giant board all over the house. And then it was a roll and move game, so you had to roll and then you moved a certain number of spaces, and depending on where you landed, you spun a wheel. So it was a roll and move and spin and get a reward or punishment. And some of the punishments are ones you'd expect, like move back 2 spaces or switch places with the last place player. Some involved physical challenges, like drink lime juice or sit out for a timeout, and then there were choices where you could punish certain players or give rewards to certain players. Of course, all the punishments went to me, and all the rewards went to the children. And so I finished. Actually, when the children finished, they were in a totally different room from me, and I at one point had to spin the very bad wheel, which had 2 out of the 8 results being start over, just restart the whole game. So. Totally broken, but I got to drink a lot of lime juice.
I mean, so, okay, good job.
I have a couple questions here. Who's in charge at your house?
That's a great question.
The second is what kind of game design are you teaching your children?
Well, I
feel like they missed some game design classes that... You're homeschooling now, right?
Yeah.
Game Design 101 should be there.
Well, you have to learn what's wrong first, and then that's what we'll build the lessons around, yeah.
That's true. If they play a lot of your games, they wouldn't learn a lot of what's wrong.
Oh, lovely. Yes, indeed. So, Tom, you came bringing gifts. Is that correct?
Well, technically, the gifts are from Formal Ferret Games, or a gift. Formal Ferret Games, their most famous game, being the Networks. We have a copy of the Networks plus the Networks Executive Expansion, and this will be sent to one of the people watching tonight, along with shipping and all.
Oh, wow.
So we have another game from them coming up in the future. But anywho, if you want to enter this, you just have to make a good comment. If there's a comment I enjoy, you'll win. Now, one unfortunate thing, it has to be U.S. only this time. I apologize to all our international listeners, but for shipping purposes. But we're going to try to have some giveaways as we do these nightly events. So come back if you don't win tonight. And up the comment of your games. No, up the comments. Write good comments.
Up your comment game.
Up your comment game. I like that. That's good.
This sounded like I was going into that 7-Up bad joke there, and I didn't mean it to.
Make 7-Up yours. Yeah.
So, Crystal,
classic.
You said that you have come up with, I mean, we're going to be talking later on about ways to play games over long distances during this social distance time. You said you had played something recently that you could fit into that category. Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. So I, like many people, love playing board games. I typically play board games in person at least once a week, if not twice a week. And so for the past couple of weeks, obviously, I have not been going out in public to play games, which is the responsible thing to do. But I still kind of want to play board games. So I have been utilizing a website called boardgamearena.com. We will discuss that and some other websites later on in the episode. But one of the games that I've been playing on there, I've never actually played the physical version of. I've only played it on Board Game Arena. But a lot of you know about it probably because it's a pretty popular one. It's called Coloretto. So Coloretto is a card game where there are a whole bunch of chameleons on the cards for reasons that I'm not quite sure.
Colors.
Colors. Really, that's the thing. You are, on your turn, you draw a card and then play it to one of the rows. There are a number of rows equal to the number of players. And your goal is to then end up taking a row that only contains cards of the colors that you want to collect. At the end of the game, you will score positive points for the 3 colors that you have the most cards of, but any other cards that you've collected of other colors will score you negative points. So as you're adding cards to the rows, you are basically trying to stack one of the rows so it'll be very good for you. So let's say I already have 2 green cards and 2 blue cards in my collection. If a green card comes up and then another blue card comes up, I probably want to put them together because I want both of those cards. But the other players likely are not going to let that happen, or they're going to take that row from me. But it might give them negative points if they do so, if they don't also have green and blue cards in their collection. There are also a couple of different cards. There's a wild card and a +2 points card, which just gives you 2 points for no reason. And then the game ends after a set number of rounds, or there's a card in the deck that will come up that will trigger the last round of the game. It's very simple, very straightforward, and it's easy to learn on Board Game Arena if you've never played it before. I'm really enjoying it for a light card game. I think it's really neat. I actually think I would like playing the physical version of this game as well. I just never have before. So I assume both of you have played Coloretto before.
Yes, I prefer it to Zularetto, actually.
What?
I think it's a cleaner game. It's far more portable. I like the fact that it's the same mechanism, and it just, it's quicker and simpler.
Oh, I apologize. Eric is wrong. Now, Coloretto is cheaper, and it's a cool game, but I never played it again once I played Zularetto.
So how does Zularetto differ?
Okay, so Zularetto has the exact same central mechanism where you draw tiles instead of cards and put them on these little cars in the middle, or take one. But they're just animals. And then when you take it, you put the animals in different enclosures in your zoo, trying to fill up an enclosure. And that's pretty much it. There's a few small rules. Sometimes the tiles are gift shops and things like that. But it just has a real fun theme, and you have a zoo. Also, Zularetto has 200,000 expansions.
It's an exact number.
Okay. Well, even though I've never played the physical version of the game, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, playing it online. So I would say if people want to check it out, head over to Board Game Arena. They have been having server issues, and that is because a whole bunch of people are discovering their website for the first time. But I got a premium membership from them last week. It was $24 for an entire year, and it has been well worth the investment for me already.
Very cool. So another way to...
One of the things I thought... one of the things I think is going to happen is that many things that people start doing now are going to transform back into when we're released into the general population. By that I mean like things like I think DoorDash and Grubhub, people are going to start using those now, and then they're going to continue using them. And I think the same thing is going to happen with things like Board Game Arena and other things like that, where people start using them now because they want to get their fix in. I don't think that will necessarily go down after this is all over.
Maybe, at least for a little while. One way that you can play games without having to interact with other people is to play solo games, and that's the game I'm talking about. This is the new Freedom and Free solo game, although it can be played as a partnership. It's called Fire. It's got a sort of a Space Invaders theme. It's also got a progressive difficulty level. I think there's 9 levels in the game. So you start on level 1, and you're facing... Where'd they go? They're in here. Okay. So you've got various baddies, like Space Invader creatures, and they've got hit points, and when you hurt them, they will rotate and then get progressively easier to shoot. The way you shoot them, they're going to be...
Just like the video game.
Exactly. That's exactly how that works. And that was a very easy one that I just showed you. They start at, 12. And that's how strong the weapon is that you need to hurt them.
What?
You also...
Hold on. Eric, I don't know if you just... Tom, what are you drinking?
What? Oh, you mean the giant jug of stuff that Tom always...
I was thirsty. It's water. It's just I put Mio in it. This is orange tangerine. It's delicious and healthy.
And he makes it in very large barrels. So, you squeeze the entire bottle in, right? For 1 gallon. That's 1 thing of Mio and a gallon of water. Anyway, so this is your weapon. It looks like a little Space Invader cannon, and on your turn, you're going to take your deck of battery cards, and you pull one of them, and this one says 4 on it. It also has 1 crosshair sitting on it, and I will put that on one of my 3. I've got 3 cannons. I'll put that on one of my 3 cannons. And then I draw another card and put it on a cannon. I can put it on the same cannon or on a different cannon. As soon as one of the cannons has 10 or more battery power on it, these cards range from 1 to 5. As soon as it has 10 or more, the cannon fires. And you subtract 10 from whatever that number is, and then multiply it by the number of crosshairs that you have under that cannon. So if I've got 5 cards sitting there, each one has a crosshair on it, and I get 13 as my total, I subtract 10, I've got 3, I multiply it by 5, and now I've got 15 power that I'm shooting at one of the bad guys. If I manage to not only hurt them, but also the next level after you rotate it, then I get 2 hits in, and maybe 2 rotations. Now, you want to be as efficient as possible, because every time you fire, you lose one of your cards. There's the sound of Tom pouring the Mio right next to the microphone.
Look, I don't want to... If I got to keep getting garbage for drinking out of this big container, I'm going to be classy and drink out of a cup.
Every time you fire the weapon, you lose one of the cards, and so you have to put it away. It's gone for the rest of the level. And so you have to be very careful about... You don't want to load up with all the very powerful cards because you're going to have to lose one of them. And if you run out of cards and can no longer fire your weapon, you've lost that wave. If you complete the wave, you can move on to the next level. It opens up new cards. This has sort of a Fable system thing going on. You've got a whole deck, and you work your way through the levels, and it adds new cards to the system and all sorts of stuff. I've only gotten through the first couple of levels. I do want to see more. However, this is a very mathy game. It's very... there's a lot of calculation. There's not a lot of excitement, because whether you win or lose can just sort of... Do I get the 5 at this point, or do I get the 1 at this point? And if they come up in a different order, you might not trigger the weapons in the order that you want them to, which is okay. I haven't played the partnership game where both players get a deck and they get 2 cannons each, and you can actually pass cards to each other a certain number of times. That offers some interesting ideas, and I want to see what else gets unlocked as I work my way through. But for the solo Freedom and Free games that I've played, Friday is still the top. And then Finished, which is the one about work and sort of getting your cards in order. And then this one. It's not bad, but it lacks that spark that would have me going, yes, I really want to keep playing this. I want to see where it goes, but I'm not running to do so. That's fire.
I was a math teacher, and this game is all math. And Eric, it goes nowhere.
Oh, you mean
I
even
just
like level
spoiled it
7 or
for
8?
you.
Really? Well,
They just keep adding a new small thing like, ooh, you can play this card, and now this card works a 5 this turn and 1 this turn, or it's just more math. And I like math, but meh. This game's a really big meh.
yeah, I almost wish there were tokens that you could continually keep track of what the totals are. So that you didn't have to keep like counting. Oh, I'm at 7 on this one, and now I need 8 on this, 9, and so I could just get some D10s out, I guess, and that might help.
People know at this point in time that if Eric says, yeah, that means the game is just horrifically bad.
It's not horrific, but I'm not motivated really.
Name 5 games that are horrific.
Sudoku, the game, the worst case survival handbook trivia game.
That game is actually so bad it's good.
No, Bunko, and Taj Mahal.
What? All right. Okay.
So, Crystal, you have a game.
Oh, am I
for us.
supposed to talk about a game now?
If you
you
want
said
to.
you didn't want to.
No, I don't really have a game. I have I have a collection of natural soaps that just showed up, and these smell
Review
delicious.
those.
We could do soap cutting
Rosemary and
ASMR.
peppermint. This one's is the best smelling of the lot. Hey, I'm loading up on soap here, and this one is oatmeal and coffee, but it doesn't really smell that good. I don't know. It's agave nectar and soy milk. This one's okay. I got a lot of really great games in the mail, but nothing to talk about. Starcadia Quest came in. That looks really cool. Finally, after the retail people have had it for over a month. I'm done talking. Go.
Okay.
Let's
play a
I always
trivia
talk about
game with
games.
the
I get
chat.
to criticize your choices. Yes. Oh, with the chat.
No, we're going to play with the chat. We're all competing against one another. I'm even participating because I don't know the answers. So it's going to be 4 competitors all against one another.
Well, who's checking the answers then?
Well, they're on the cards. We'll all learn together.
Let's learn together.
We're playing together from a distance. That's the whole theme of tonight. So
now the song's in my head.
Sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to. So tonight, we are going to play the brand new trivia game that just came out to Kickstarter backers like me this past week. It is called Half Truth. It was developed between Richard Garfield, who some of you may have heard of from games like Magic the Gathering and King of Tokyo, and Ken Jennings, who some of you may have heard of from, Jeopardy! It is a trivia game. It is the party game that makes you feel smart. I cannot vouch for whether that is true or not, but we're going to find out right now. Eric,
Okay.
I'm going to go...
Tool on the cover?
He did the artwork. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it actually has a pretty neat art and graphic design to it, which y'all are going to see in a minute. I'm going to switch my camera. So, in theory...
The Skype logo. Oh, there we go.
It's switching over. It just takes a second.
And I'm going to take you full screen so that Tom and I can't make faces at the camera anymore.
Perfect. That's what I've always dreamed of. We're going to slide this down just a tiny bit. All right, chat. So
I want everyone to imagine the face I'm making.
Yeah, lots of faces, I'm sure. So in Half Truth, there are going to be cards with a category on the top and 6 possible answers. And if you cannot read them on the screen, chat, don't worry. You're going to be able to read them elsewhere in just a second. This is an example card. This is not one of the questions that we're going to be answering. So this one specifically says, words attributed to Shakespeare. For all of the cards in the game, 3 of the answers are true and 3 of them are not. And it is up to you to decide how many answers you want to guess. So if you're only certain about one, you might want to guess on only one of them. But you can double up or something that I don't remember word-wise and guess all three if you so choose. So Tom and Eric, you all are both going to have to pick what 1 to 3 answers you want to guess for every card. I will be doing the same in chat. We're going to be dropping some links in the YouTube chat for you all to vote as well. So this is, again, an example card. This is not the one for the game, but we'll go ahead and look at it. So words attributed to Shakespeare.
I'm ready. Bedroom and ideal.
Well, so if you had guessed those two, Tom, you would be incorrect and you would get no points because one of them was wrong. So this is why it is potentially advantageous to guess less things. So mimic, dewdrop, and bedroom are all words attributed to Shakespeare. If we're also going to have a die roll every round. That's the bad example, right? Oh, it's gone.
I'm going to guess 3 every time. Every time I'm going to guess 3.
Oh, got to be careful with those die rolls when you're live streaming. But let's say we had rolled a 3, then anyone who guessed their answers correctly would get 3 points. So you would move up 3 spots on the track. If you chose to double up and you got 2 answers correct, you would move up or you would get 1 victory point automatically. And if you guessed all 3 correctly, you would get 2 victory points. And then once someone hits the end of this track, we get points based on where we are there. And then we'll see where we're at. I have 5 total questions that we're going to go through. Chat, you're going to be voting on what responses you want to guess. And I've made it so you can vote on multiple responses. You don't have to pick a single one. And I will be determining, I guess, how many guesses you all are making based on how many votes they got. So it'll kind of be up to my judgment to some degree, but hopefully that's fine with you all because, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So let's just move to question 1, shall we?
Shall I put the poll in the chat now, Crystal?
Go ahead and put the poll for question number 1 in the chat. Eric, I picked this one specifically for you. The question is, Muppets who don't actually have eyes. So 3 of these Muppets do not have eyes. 3 of them do. And this question is going to be worth 1 spot on the track. So since it's only worth 1, maybe it's advantageous to push your luck and try and get some bonus points. Maybe not. I have to choose what answers I want. So I'm going to do that legitimately and actually pick tokens with letters on them, but you all are just going to have to give me the ones you think are correct. And okay. I'm going to guess.
I'm ready.
Hold on. I'm going to go with that one.
I'm also ready.
And that one.
Am I supposed to write this down?
No, I can trust you all to not cheat. It's fine. Okay. So I have selected mine, so that way I can't cheat either. So the question is has the chat voted?
I don't know.
Refresh results. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, the chat has overwhelmingly chosen 3 different people. So I'll reveal mine. I went with Janice and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Eric, what did you choose?
I chose 3, B, C, and F.
B, C, and F. Okay, so I'm just going to put your tokens there. And then Tom, what about you?
Those are also the 3 that I chose.
Okay.
I just watched a marathon of Muppet stuff.
Nice. And I thought the Swedish Chef maybe, but I didn't want to push my luck. And so if we flip the card over, we will find out that
Ta-da!
It is, in fact, the Swedish Chef, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, and Janice. So that means I am going to move up, or everyone's going to move up on the track 1, and then I will get 1 point, and everybody else is going to get 2 points. All right. Is that even visible?
The one that threw me off was the Count. I couldn't picture him for some reason because he's not in the Muppet movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Beaker is a hero.
Moving on to question number 2.
Question number 2's poll is in the chat now.
Perfect. The top 10 U.S. female dog names, and in case it matters to anyone, but please don't cheat, this is based on on rover.com in 2019. That is where this information came from. So, but don't cheat, people. because that's not fun. I'm going to make some guesses here. We're going to go with...
Just to clarify, D is the word dog.
D is
Yes.
the word dog.
It's not Doug. Are we rolling the die
word
again?
Dog.
Oh, yeah, we should roll the die to see how many points this is worth. Ooh, +1. So this is a... we're not going to explain extra rules. It's a 4. That's easier.
Oh, my goodness.
The +1 is a special thing, and I don't want to I don't want to go through the special rules right now. So
Sure.
I'm going to say... we're going to say this, and where's that token? This one. Okay.
If
I
I knew
locked
that
in.
dog was an option when naming your dogs, next time I get a dog, I'm just calling it dog.
Dog.
Like, where's dog? Dog. Come here. What if you name your cat dog? Is that legit?
I went on a
Where's dog?
I know someone with a cat named Puppy.
There's a
Okay,
comment
so now-
in the chat from Hawkskull who says, I went on a date with Beaker, but it didn't go well. He was all, me, 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 me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the chat, we have 4 answers that all have a lot of votes. But you know what? We'll just take the top 3, and chat's going to vote for 3 things. Because I'm in charge of this. So the chat is voting for Princess, Lucy, and Bella are chat's guesses. My guesses are for Bailey and Princess. And what do you guys have?
I say C and
I
F.
pick
C and F for Eric?
Yep.
Okay.
and I picked Bailey, Princess, and Ginger.
Oh, so we've got some differing
Got some
opinions
spread.
this time around. I like it. All right, let's find
But no
out.
one picked dog. If it's dog, I'm looking it up on the internet right now.
And the correct answers were
Oh.
Bella, Bailey, and Lucy. So it looks like nobody is
Nobody
getting
scores.
No.
any points. And we all could have moved 4.
Oh.
Alas, it's not happening.
So Bella's number 1, huh?
Bella's number 1. Lucy is number 3, and Bailey is number 8, apparently.
I had a Lucy.
Aww.
You know what? I have to say that even if I picked just one, it would have still been Princess, and that one wasn't even in the top 20.
Yeah.
So,
What does it
yeah,
say
that's
under dog? I
surprising.
can't read it.
Not in the top 100.
Okay.
No kidding. No kidding. That's like the question they put on your test where the teacher writes a really weird thing just so you feel smart not picking it.
Yeah.
Like
All
which
right.
of these is not a president? Elvis Presley on the list.
We are moving on to question number 3. I'm going to roll the die. Nope. Okay. There we go. We got a 3. We're looking for the actual names of the 3 wise monkeys. The see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil monkeys. And
Yeah, okay. Well, this is just going to be wild guessing.
I'm going to... Let's see here. And it's worth 3 spots on the score track. Oh, man. Okay. I'm only going to guess one thing. So I'm locking in a single guess.
I said I was going to guess 3 every time, and I will. And if I'm right, I will joyfully drink some more of this orange water.
All right. I'm kind of letting the chat's stuff shake out a little bit. Tom, why don't you tell me what your 3 are first?
All right, my 3 are A, D, and F. Although I
Okay.
really want to pick E because it sounds cool. Saru.
A, D, and F. Eric, what are you going with this time?
I'm just going to go with D and F.
D and F.
I have reasons,
And-
but I won't say what they are yet.
My single choice was C, so clearly I'm doing well based on everybody else's guesses. And the chat, I'm going to refresh these results real quick. You know what? It looks like the chat's only going for 2 guesses this time. So we're going to say They are guessing B and D. So that's what the chat's going with.
So
right.
Mizaru,
Well,
I
that's
think,
not
actually translates to see nothing, or because
Oh, okay.
Mira is see.
All right. Well, yep. There's 3 things with Z's in them now that I noticed that, and I'm a little worried that when I flip this over, and my assumption that I just made late is unfortunately for me correct. So let's see here. Eric, no, the chat got 2 correct. So they're going to move up 3 spots on the track. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and chat gets a victory point. And then let's see. Eric unfortunately
I got
missed
2.
one of them.
I got 2.
Oh no, that's Tom. Tom missed that one. You got 2. Yes, you're good. So Eric, same deal. 1 victory point and 3 spots up on the track. And I got it wrong, and Tom got it wrong. So
I got 2 out of 3, which I believe would satisfy me on a test.
you know what? I agree with you. Too bad this isn't a test. All right. Moving on to question number 4. Names that were once in the top 1,000 in popularity for U.S. girls. And if you'll note, those are all names that I would say are typically not girls' names nowadays.
Oh,
wow.
That's
and I gotta roll the die.
You
Hold on,
closed mine.
this one's worth 2 spots on the score track. Okay, I definitely am guessing that.
Oh
Man,
boy.
3 of these?
I know,
All right.
Rick, that 66% is not a C, but it still makes me feel like I got 2/3 correct. See, when you say you got 2/3 correct, that sounds good. That
doesn't sound that
67%
good.
thing is something made by the man to keep you
All right.
down. You know what, Eric? At least I had the guts to guess 3.
It's all the fault
Well-
of big number.
You know, Tom, you have all the guts, and Eric has all the points. So,
Ha!
all right.
we have to let Eric win a game once in a while.
Yeah,
Hey,
every now
wait
and
a
then.
minute. I win lots of games.
You do.
Against
So
your
I'm guessing
kids.
2 things. I wanted to only guess 1 because there's only one that I'm certain of, but I'm guessing 2 because I'm trying to be, trying to catch up a little bit.
Yep.
And chat, the percentage difference between first place and second is pretty large. So I'm going to say chat is actually
It's
going
just gonna
only
guess
for
1.
1.
All right.
That is what I'm going to say. So chat is going for just George. I am going for Timothy and George. Eric, what are you going for?
Steve and George, B and C.
Okay. Steve and George for Eric. And Tom, what about you?
I'm going to do Steve, George, and Samuel. I'm hoping that Samuel is Samantha somehow, George is Georgia somehow, and Steve just sounds like a girl's name.
Well, Stevie
Yeah,
Nicks.
George is the only one that I was fairly certain about. So we all picked it. I'm assuming that one's going to be right. And it is, but unfortunately my other pick is wrong. No one else got the other 2. So
Richard
chat's the
and
only one.
John.
Chat's going to move up 2 spaces. Yeah, apparently, all those
Okay.
Johns and Richards.
That's my favorite question so far.
This game said it was going to make us feel smart, and I think that was a lie because
Right.
all I feel right now is dumb. All right, rolling the die for the next one. Here, you know what? Let's set the die for the next one because it'll be more fun to cheat. Because we need a chance to catch up to chat. It's the last question. I can't even catch chat technically at all, so it doesn't matter. All right, here you go, everybody. Breeds of chicken. Breeds of chicken.
I have no idea. So I'm going to pick the ones that sound cool.
I feel like I should go for 3, even though I have no idea also, just because why not? So
Welcome
let's see here.
to my world.
Yep, I'm joining you. I'm going to pick that one. Oh, that seems too obvious.
Meanwhile, I'm going to do a little bit of...
What, Googling? What do you...
So, cheating?
No, I'm looking up the last question. I already wrote down my answers for this one anyway. Ricky, it's with an I, is a feminine given name from the Germanic languages. Okay, I get that one. What was the other one?
It was John.
What was the other one?
John.
John.
Hey, Melody just joined in the chat.
Feminine of John. John is Jane. So Jane and Jean, Jean, Gean, that's what they're talking about.
Oh.
So, or like Johanna or Johanna. So I feel like I'm going to argue that maybe they were stretching this a bit, but we'll see.
Well, so Naomi in the chat said, where's our extra points? And Naomi, if you were talking about that last round, you get no extra points because you only had one guess. So unless you double up or triple up, you do not get any extra points. You just get the points on the score track, which I did give you. You got your 2 points up here. So, all right. I'm going to say, Tom, give us your chickens first this time.
Oh, I just randomly guessed. So I picked
Perfect.
Kaifusi because it has foo in it. I picked Kyo because it sounds like a Pokemon animal. And I picked Paul de Baudier because it sounds like something Gordon Ramsay would say. I didn't pick F because that sounds like duck.
Okay. And I'm going to see what the chat...
thoughts.
That is deep thoughts there. It looks like the chat is only guessing one thing again. So this means they're probably going to get it right. And chat has gone for Red Shaver. And that's the only thing they're guessing.
That's not a good sign.
That's the name of a comedian, I think.
Oh, that's Red Skeleton.
Oh, right.
Skeleton. That's Skeleton.
I'm choosing A and C. I think Red Shaver is a...
Erica's using information from the audience.
I am not. I had A and C picked a while ago. Where'd Crystal go?
Oh, wow. She starts losing and she drops out?
She just leaves.
Okay.
Oh.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. My Skype was completely frozen for the past, 45 seconds.
Ah.
So, I'm back now. Perfect. Eric, I wanted to know what you were saying a red shaver is, because I missed that when my Skype froze.
Oh, a comedian, old-timey comedian.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully the chat is wrong. Eric, what are your guesses?
A and C is what I had chosen.
Wait, you picked A, even though it's an old comedian?
Also going for Pokemon.
I did.
That's Red Skeleton, not Red Shaver.
Okay. Well, I also went with A, and I went with C, and I went with F, because even though I know what Peking duck is, because it is waterfowl, I figured maybe there's something bird-related there, and so who knows?
I don't think you should cook if you're confusing chicken and duck, but all right.
Well, I like both of them, so truly it wouldn't be that bad of a mistake, but let's flip it over and see what the actual answers are.
Aha!
I got that one right!
You are a cheater! I feel like you looked at the answers.
Right now. I didn't. I really didn't. I'm so excited. Oh, man. I have no idea how I pulled that off.
How the $10,000 question show was brought under public scrutiny. We'll be launching a congressional.
This doesn't even win me the game. I don't win as a result of this. So I am going to move up on the track 4 spaces and get 2 points.
Which you set, by the way.
Yeah, totally all set up. And let's see here. Eric is also going to move up 4 and get 1 point.
I'm not orange. I'm blue.
You're blue. You got A and C. You get 4 spots on the track and 1 extra point.
Right. I'm blue. You moved yellow.
I see what you're saying. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. I moved the wrong piece. Okay. And then Tom gets nothing. Chat gets to the end of the track. No extra points. But let's see. So the final scores. Tom has a total of 2 points. I have a total of 7 points.
I have my dignity.
You do. You have lots of dignity,
Lots
Tom.
of
Oodles
dignity.
of dignity.
Oodles.
Chat. Eric has 6 plus 4, 10 points, and Chat has 7 plus 3, so also 10 points. Ooh. Now I'm going to look in the rule book because I don't know what this game says about ties. In the event
Crystal
of a tie,
is looking in the rule book.
The player whose pawn has advanced furthest along the round 3 tracker wins. Since we only played 1 round, it's this tracker. That means the chat wins.
Chat wins.
Okay, so now listen.
It's a hard-fought battle.
I don't want to get political because I don't get political, but if you recall, during the impeachment of Richard Nixon, they wanted his tapes from the office, and there was missing minutes. Remember that, Eric? The missing minutes. They could not find those minutes.
Crystal did disappear.
I demand to know
for
what happened.
45 seconds.
45 seconds that Crystal was off air, and if I can't find those, I will assume that she was frantically phoning a friend.
What's funny is I was frantically trying to text Eric to be like, my Skype froze, I don't know what to do. I never sent the text because it came back right as I was about to. And, yep, I totally cheated to not win the game. That's what I did.
I understand that. I just feel like this could be the end of your game show presidency. I'm going to be writing a newspaper article on this later.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
I'm fine with it, though.
I'm too lazy. Oh, look. What? Your cup's bigger than mine. Oh, this garbage about my jug. Look at that thing. That thing, I could fit my whole head in. No, I can't do that because I have the biggest head, but...
Okay.
I may be a little off tonight.
You know, I would not have said those words exactly, but let's talk about some cool ways that people can play games when they are practicing good social distancing and not going out to board game cafes or game stores or their friends' houses. Let's talk about ways that you can still play games. And you know what? Tom's holding up one of them right there. That Nintendo Switch is a great one.
I haven't picked up any board game analogs on the Switch. What's for the two of you? Which one is your favorite that you've played on the Switch?
Hands down, as far as board games are concerned, on the Switch, Flip Over Frog is my favorite. It's so quick. Yeah, it's so quick and easy and like a great little time killer. And it works well. The interface on the Switch for that game works really, really well.
Huh. That isn't one that I would think of. They just announced a Wingspan for the Switch. I'm not sure when it's going to be released, but that's one.
This summer.
Okay.
Too late. Let's hope it's too late.
And then, of course, there's a ton on the iDevices or Android devices that you can play on your mobile tablet or phone. I like some of the websites. Crystal mentioned Board Game Arena, but one that I used to frequent a lot is yucata.de. That's yucata.de. It's free, and what I really like about it is that it's asynchronous play. I mean, you can play a game live where both players are paying attention and watching the game go, but it's sort of designed as an asynchronous thing where you make your move and then it pings the next player to go, and then you can come back and take your turn. When it's your turn, it will give you an email when it's your turn. And I sort of like that because I don't have to sit there in front of the screen watching as everybody takes their moves. And there's a chat system, and I haven't been here in a while, but they've got They've got a ton of games. It's got to be at least 100 games on here. In fact, Zularetto, the dice game, is on there.
Oh, okay.
And I saw Thunderstone, Torres, these old classic Euro games, but also some brand new ones. Pax Porfiriana is on here. Glenmore, really cool. Guildhall is on there. That's one of my favorites. So that's yukata.de. The only danger with the asynchronous stuff is I got into some issues where I got busy, like my turn came up, and it became one of those where I said, oh, I'll get to that later. I don't have time to deal with that now. And then the email got buried, and suddenly I got timed out of my game. So if you are doing asynchronous, you have to at least stay on top of it and make your moves in a reasonable fashion.
And that is kind of one of the reasons that I like Board Game Arena, is because it is real-time games, not asynchronous. And when I'm playing games online, I tend to prefer real-time stuff instead of asynchronous. And it does real-time. Board Game Arena does real-time really well, and they have a lot of games on there also. As I mentioned earlier in the show, they have been kind of dealing with the strain of having a lot of people. Like, even right now, it's almost 7 p.m. here on the West Coast. So the people in Europe are all asleep, and the people in the States it's getting late for a lot of them as well. And there are more than 4,000 people on the website right now, 2,600 actively playing currently. And that's a lot. They've had, I think, close to 10,000 people online at one time in the past week, which is way more than they'd ever had before.
Tom, what have you used?
I don't really play board games online. I mean, I might use something as time goes by, but I've been mocked many times over the years for having such a large family. Who's laughing now?
You've got
I have a built-in game group.
It's true.
Who are socially bound to me. So yeah, that's really what it is. And also I haven't had to do it yet. And if I did, I think I would probably gravitate to things like Hearthstone and such, because I'd rather play the thing right now. I think I'd rather play something that was built to be online. But that's just me, and I know I'm in a minority on that.
I think I'm normally like that. Typically that would be my go-to as well. I had played on Board Game Arena in the past, but only for kind of limited usages. But I'm really enjoying it now. My husband plays some board games with me, but not a lot. We did actually play Unmatched together a couple of days ago. He had never played it before, so I taught him Unmatched. But I'm enjoying being able to play with friends that I would have normally been gaming with otherwise, and friends that I don't get to game with that often anyway. People that I typically see just at board game conventions. We can friend each other on a website and play games together, and that feels kind of lovely in a way that, it's really kind of helping me feel good and stave off some of the stress and anxiety that the current situation has been causing for me personally.
Yeah. Do you insist on a chat system when you're playing a particular game? You want to be able to, have a conversation while you're playing?
I don't necessarily insist on it, although at least in the past week, I'll admit I've been live streaming while I've been playing for the most part. So I am often talking at my webcam and playing with people who are in the chat of my live streams. So I'm talking to them and they're talking back to me through the chat, which is kind of nice, but I don't think that's necessary. I have logged on a couple of times and just played games with strangers on Board Game Arena, and I typically do not tend to chat with them when that happens.
You bring up an interesting point, though, because there's a lot of things that you can do simply with Skype. You simply log onto the webcam, get into a Google Hangout or a Skype chat, and if you have a game where the board state is in one place and the other players don't need to be touching the pieces, you can play a game, any game on your shelf, and just, the players say, well, I move from here to here, and one player can actually be moving the pieces around.
And there are also, so that's, if a game has all public information, webcam is all you really need, assuming one person can control everything. But there are also some online services, Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia, which are both paid services, or the games on them are paid, that kind of simulate a digital game table where multiple people can come in and sit around a virtual space, theoretically, and play games together. And the graphics on some of those are really neat. Like, it looks like the actual board game on a table, and you're just manipulating the digital pieces. I have not dug into those a lot, but I'm curious, and this is the kind of time that will probably push me to start exploring that kind of stuff more.
I think the advantage to the Tabletopia is it's a little bit more tactile. You're not actually touching anything, but you're actually picking things up and dragging them around, and you feel a little bit more like you're manipulating the game rather than just clicking on things. Cyberboard was an earlier generation that actually recorded all of your moves as you slid tokens around, but it felt like you were manipulating a board and not just clicking on sections of a screen.
Definitely. And I would say there's some other things, obviously, that are kind of board game adjacent, that work well, especially if you do have people in your own house, family members or whatnot. The Jackbox games, which we've mentioned on this show in the past, are really fun. And you can get those on almost any video game console, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Most of the streaming devices have Jackbox games on them, and they're party-style games that are really quite fun, and there's a lot of them now. There's 6 different party packs, and each one of them contains, I think, between 4 and 5 different games. I own most of the party packs and have really enjoyed playing those in the past, and even if you don't have people in your own house, if you do have the ability to stream things on the internet, you can technically stream Jackbox games and have people on the internet play with you as well, and I've done that before, too.
Very cool. Any other options for playing remotely that we haven't touched on?
Mail.
Yeah.
You laugh, but I remember when I first got on the Origins Awards Committee, and there was arguments on whether we should keep the play by mail category. Happily, It's gone. It was a thing that people used to do. They used to send in their moves especially for bigger war games, by mail to somebody else.
But were there still games made for that system? Like, what was the award for?
I don't know. I just remember it being a thing.
Well, Tom,
you and I after email already existed.
You and I played a couple of email games of diplomacy, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I didn't play diplomacy. I was played. Yeah.
I think there's a couple other websites that we didn't mention that we could. I will say that I have not used these websites, so I can't vouch for how user-friendly they are or the variety of games, but there's another one called Boîte à Jeux, which is French. If you couldn't tell by my butchering of its name, it's spelled B-O-I.
It's a kind of chicken.
Teajeux. I might drop that in the chat in YouTube. Boitajeux.net. And they have some cool games on here.
Yeah.
Like some heavier games. They've got Dungeon Pets and Mermies, which Eric just talked about in the most recent episode of the Dice Tower podcast on the top games that start with M.
Mm-hmm.
Nations, the dice game. Zerts. I know I've heard of that. Oh, they've got a couple of the GIF games in here.
Yep, including Zerts.
Agricola. Yeah, they got some neat stuff on there. And there's another one called Happy Meeple, which I just signed up for but have not used yet. And they have some neat 2-player games on that one.
There's also one that was popular several years ago, the Brett Spielwelt German site that had like a whole extra meta game that went over it where you joined a guild and earned points for playing various games, and I don't think it's quite as popular. I went by there earlier and they had like 162 people on at the time.
Someone told me, and I do not know if this is true, but someone told me that they have some Cosmos games on there and that the crew is on there. Oh. And if that is true, which I don't know, I haven't verified, but if that is true, that would be really cool.
That would be very cool. I have been playing, speaking of the crew, I introduced my children to the concept of trick-taking using the crew this week.
Ooh, That's a
Yeah.
fun way to teach trick taking.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked. We before
And you're all still alive.
before doing any of the missions, I just said, here's how trick taking works. And you explained the rocket cards and how they win everything. And once they had that concept down, then we moved on to mission number 1. Although the issue was that my youngest got very excited by like winning tricks. He's still in the mindset of, I want to win things. And so he would often mess up the mission because he'd decide to, oh, I can win this trick? I will win this trick. Like, no, that's the card your mom needed.
Aww.
So we're working on it.
Are you still on mission 1?
No, the boys and I, as a team of 3, got to, I think we're on 8, and as a team of 4 with my wife and the boys, we're on 3 or 4. So we're making progress.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. Well,
Tom, how's the contest doing with the chat?
I've really been watching this, and there's been some really good ones. In fact, someone just said that they enjoyed the play by pigeon thing. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Hulk Skull with his date with Beaker, me. And so, Hulk Skull, I need you to email me at tom@dicetower.com with your information, and we'll get you this game.
You're assuming
we want to really
a
thank
he
Formal
on Hulk
Ferret
Skull.
for donating this game.
Hulk Skull may be a lady.
You're
we don't know.
right.
Well, Hawk Skull is
Skull
often
just
in our
sounds like
chat on Wednesday night, so it is awesome that they won this.
Very cool. Well,
That is correct. So, Hulk Skull, I need you. Yeah, I want to say thanks to Formal Ferret real quick. And also, if you're a company and you want to give out games through these live chats, let me know.
So in the few minutes we have left before we wrap things up, if there's something that you'd like to ask in the chat, now is the time to do so. And we'll do our best to answer or not. Who knows? If
anything could happen.
Questions, just a reminder, there's a lot of live streaming stuff going on tomorrow. So let me see if I got all this right. At 10 o'clock in the morning is Board Game Breakfast Live with special guest. You'll see. Then at 1 o'clock is the top 10 essential games that everyone should own, starring Not Me or Z. Then at 4 o'clock, this is all Eastern Standard Time, by the way, Mandy and Suzanne are doing Apptastic. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll be doing another Dice Tower chat. So lots of stuff live tomorrow. The channel's going to be hot all day long.
Hey,
right,
Tom.
now you got questions. Go ahead.
Hawk Skull popped up in the chat and said that they are not located in the United States.
Oh, all right. Then I'm giving it to the pigeon one because that was funny. Hang on. Let's see here.
And Hawk Skull, thank you so much still for being here and participating in the chat. We apologize that
we'll remember you on a future one for sure.
A mention, of course, the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund auction is on Board Game Geek right now and is live.
Daegilouze, Daegilouze. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to roll a die and just pick a random comment.
I will admit, when I heard, Tom, that you were going to be on tonight's episode with Eric and I did consider trying to set up my copy of Madness and making you and Eric run through a shopping mall while an electronic squawk box talked at you, but I decided that the logistics of doing so well, considering how big the mall is, would probably be difficult, so...
That game's being reprinted.
Well, I still have my original copy from, like, 1992 or something. One of the batteries had leaked battery acid all over the thing, like happens when you leave batteries in toys, and I thought it would not be salvageable, but I watched a YouTube video and cleaned it out, and it worked like a gem the second I put batteries back in it, so...
Nice. All right.
Dagan Lightfoot asked me what channel I'm streaming on. So I've generally been streaming on my podcast's YouTube and Twitch channels, which is Board Game Blitz, only because Tom would let me stream here on the Dice Tower, obviously, but my streams have been less scheduled and more impromptu, and taking over the Dice Tower airwaves.
And profanity filled.
No profanity. It's all family friendly. And I've been doing marble racing, which I showed Eric before our stream.
This is unbelievable.
Do you want me? I could show it.
Okay.
If people want to see a marble race. No, it's all right. But yeah, Board Game Blitz, both on YouTube and Twitch, is where I've been doing most of my streaming. Been playing on Board Game Arena and doing marble racing, where the people watching in Twitch chat get to control, well, not control, they get to have one of the marbles in the marble race. And it's digital and it's very fun.
Looks like our pigeon winner is not in the U.S. They're in Taiwan, Tom.
What? All right, fine. I am randomly picking a name now. Crystal, give me a number.
Wait, between what and what?
Between 1 and 6.
4.
All right, now we have Hannah Beertz. That's Beertz. And I better not hear that like the entire audience is non-US people, because that would be, first of all, awesome. And secondly, sad. I'm going to just pay for the shipping soon. Hannah Beards, please let us know if you're in the U.S. Meanwhile, keep answering questions, guys.
There's not a ton of questions. Tom, your plan is to stay open during all of this and normal operations at Dice Tower Central, correct?
Well, sure. We talked about this at work, and obviously, if anybody, there's only a few of us there. So if anybody is even the slightest bit ill, sick, for any reason, they stay home. And everyone is welcome to stay home. But all of us kind of just feel like coming in and doing something, because otherwise we're just not doing that. We're not very far from the studio.
Yeah.
It is a home. So,
yep.
If the government tells me to stop or whatever, but and even if I was stopped, I would still probably stream from here, just because.
Yeah. I've got my one employee, and she's still able to come down to the house, which seems like a nice limited element of interaction. And can work from home.
You know what?
So not in the
U.S.
Oh, no.
No, this is it. Vanessa G. is the first person after Hannah to say that they are in the U.S., so you get it.
Okay. Okay.
Vanessa. Please, Vanessa, tell me you are in the U.S., because that sounds right.
You know what? All of you people who are not in the U.S., we just want to say thank you for being here. No matter what time it is where you are.
I know. I will try to get international content from now
on. It's fine. And so, we appreciate you nonetheless.
Let's answer one actual question that I saw in the middle of all of this. Do you let kids win? I know Tom and I have answered this in the past, but it's been a while. Daniel says, my dad never let me win, and I'm teaching my kid to play games, and I'm not letting him win. What's the kid policy?
For me?
Well, yeah, sure. Let's just state it again.
Now, you mean that my policy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I must have missed part of the question. Do it again.
Do you let
kids win?
Sometimes, maybe. I guess I just don't. I just don't see it's not that you let them win. You just don't play at 100% against them, because we don't do that with anything else. I don't teach Jimmy basketball and then slam dunk over him the entire game and be like, well, eventually, son, you'll be able to beat me, or anything else in life.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a race. And then I run all the way around the block and he's still running down the street. I'm like, well, you're kind of slow. Or a wrestling match. I'm like, I'm not even trying here. I'm just sitting on you, kid. I just think it's weird that we do it only with board games, but we don't do it with anything else.
Yeah. I like the strategy you've mentioned before, Tom, where if you are going to try and play like a real game, you'll try a non-standard strategy. You'll try and do something a little wacky. And that often gives enough of an edge to the kid that they can stay competitive. Although I've discovered that if I give my kids too much leeway, they will destroy me at this point, which is, I guess, makes me proud. So you get to that point.
I don't play with kids very often, but I think I definitely play potentially suboptimally, but not deliberately let them win. Kind of similar to what you're saying, like maybe try a weird strategy, or if I'm playing a dexterity game, maybe I won't be quite as careful as I typically would be, things like that, just to make it more enjoyable for everybody. Because honestly, seeing a kid win a game is really fun for me. Like, I really enjoy that moment. So it's not even like a just for them thing. Like, beating a kid isn't that much fun, especially if they don't handle it well. So,
well, you mentioned Crystal Flip Over Frog in digital form. I was playing the physical version with my 8-year-old, and he pulled one over on me, made me think that he was yellow. And so I made a move near the end to disadvantage yellow and let blue have a point. And he was blue. And he totally played me. And he had this huge grin on his face. And I was playing at full capacity. So when that happens, it's pretty darn cool.
When that happens, and Gator Dave points it out, as soon as the kid talks smack, that's it. When they beat you and they're like, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
hang on.
Playtime's
I'm
over.
not actually right-handed.
I very specifically remember, like, I don't remember, my dad and I played a lot of games together, not as many board games, more video games and computer games as I was growing up, but I distinctly remember the first time that I legitimately beat him at Mario Kart. Like, it was an event that happened in my life the first time I beat him at Mario Kart. And I did gloat. I know I gloated in that moment, but I think at that point, like, I had just played video games enough that I had, become a viable opponent for him. So I don't know, but I remember it very well, and it was a neat moment in my life.
Very cool. All right, I think it's time to wrap things up. What do you think?
I think it is about time. So those of you who are still here, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. If you could do us a favor, and if you have enjoyed the stream this evening, please click the little thumbs up button below the video. That helps let the YouTube algorithms know that they should show this video to other people who weren't able to join us live. And it helps keep us, motivated and happy, which is great right now, especially.
Yes.
We know that the things in the world are tough right now for a lot of you. And so please know that those of us here at the Dice Tower are thinking of you. You are in our thoughts. We hope that your families are safe and healthy. And we really appreciate you all coming and joining us tonight, spending an hour with us here on Dice Tower tonight. So we will be back in 2 weeks on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, is that going to be April?
It's April 1st.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
April 1st. No fooling. That is our next episode. But until then, I'm Crystal Pisano.
I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been watching Dice Tower Tonight.
Thanks for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. Crystal and I will see you in 2 weeks for another installment. Our show is supported by viewers like you. Thank you. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Crystal and me with assistance from Tom Vassell, Mike DeLisio, Roy Kennedy, and Rob Searing. Our dog's look of disappointment after getting fixed is brought to you by Spay Sulk. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at CoolStuffInc.com. Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild at Board Game Geek, on Facebook or Twitter, or by emailing us at dicetower@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find something new at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have fun.
Have fun gaming.
So long, everybody.
Bye.